NAPTIP, since her inception, she was founded 2003, has successfully prosecuted 339 traffickers. How successful do you consider this?
Well, considering our environment, our legal environment where trials can be lethargic at times, where the courts are filled with cases, and where you also need a lot of personnel to do investigation, arrest, and prosecution. If you consider all of these impediments, then you will say that the number of convictions for NAPTIP you have mentioned is not a bad return. It is still not what we'd expect, in an ideal situation at the end of the day. But like I said, if you look at all of these impediments, then they deserve some commendation. However, from what we see every day and what we hear, you will agree with me that there's a lot of work still left to be done.
Okay. On Tuesday, the NAPTIP Lagos Zonal Commander, I interviewed her, and while explaining the windy and Herculean process of prosecuting traffickers, she said when a judge is transferred and another judge takes over the case, they have to start afresh all over again. How true is this?
Of course, that is one of the impediments I actually meant when I referred to so many impediments in terms of criminal trials or criminal prosecution. In fact, that's what they call trial de novo. If a case takes even 5 years in court to call witnesses, to put in your evidence, and then the case is at actually its final stage of maybe the final address for the court to make a decision. Once that particular judge or magistrate is transferred or is elevated from that court to a higher court, or in some very unfortunate situations, the magistrate or the judge passes on, then the case starts all over again afresh. Our law does not allow another judge, especially in criminal trials, another judge to take over a case and continue from where the first judge stopped. The reason, of course, in our jurisprudence is that a particular judge must have a complete impression of the entire case from the beginning to the end in order to make a just decision. The judge that takes over the case may not have seen the witnesses that were earlier called, will not have noticed or taken note of the demeanor of the witnesses and whether they were telling the truth or whether they were telling a lie and all of, or telling lies, and all of that. So that is the idea behind it. So there's some logic behind it. However, in terms of the practical realities, in terms of the speed of justice, it actually hampers the speed of justice. So some of us have always advocated for an amendment of the law to the extent that if a judge has done the case to a particular extent or just to the stage of final address and judgment, and the judge is elevated or transferred out of that jurisdiction, the judge should be allowed by law, especially in case of elevation to a higher court, should be allowed by law to come to the lower court and finish all those cases that were at those advanced stages, whilst of course resuming his duties at the higher court. That will help a lot, in decongesting our courts and also ensuring the speed of trials.
Okay. The Lagos State government recently constituted the Sexual/Domestic Violence Special Court as a way of speeding up trials of traffickers. What do you think about establishment of special courts specifically for human trafficking cases?
Well, no, that's a step in the right direction. Everything in this country now, if you want to achieve results, about creating special divisions in order to ensure the speed of the process. So almost everything in this country now requires some special intervention for it to work, because if you lump it together with the general duties of that agency or the particular agency in charge of the police force and all that, it may become too clumsy for them. Now, having said that, however, it doesn't stop at that. The other problems are still there. The problems, for example, of magistrates taking longhand, because you have to write all down all the witnesses are saying and all that in longhand, and it takes time. So we've always advocated for electronic, recording of statements and evidence in courts, so that the trials can, go forward speedily. We have also advocated for these other amendments we talked about, cases starting de novo when the judge is elevated or the magistrate is elevated, and all of that. So once all of these are taken care of, all of these little things, in addition to the special courts, then I think we'll almost be there, if not even there.
Okay.